Gareth knows what the title is, so he'll introduce us.
Welcome to Property Quorum. Well, it's been a bit all change, hasn't it? Unfortunately, Juliet is out gallivanting, well, working hard abroad. Chris is busy sorting out finance and goodness whatever within his property empire. But we are joined today by two excellent people from IPSA. Now, I know it feels like this is IPSA kind of Magic Mark II, but actually it's something slightly different. This is Property Quorum, and today's topic hopefully will intrigue everyone. Today's topic being why collaboration strengthens us all. Now, we've talked about collaboration on a number of occasions. Certainly when we normally do Property Quorum, it's the fact that we have experts around us that helps us be better than any one of us separately, because we have reference points to people who really know their onions. But today is pretty much a case in point. We're joined, of course, by Hamish McClay of Search Convey, but we also have Michelle Poller and also Heather Poole-Glebe. Now, what's interesting about this is there's a very special thing happening today. But before we get into that, Hamish, would you care to start us off?
Well, the reason that we're actually sort of here together is the three of us are directors at IPSA, the Association of Independent Property Service Agents. And we actually work effectively, by and large, because we collaborate with each other. We each of us have independent businesses within IPSA, and we support each other in terms of what we actually are going to do. And later on, as Gareth explained, we have our annual general meeting. But before that, we were intending to speak with Juliet, who's somebody I've worked with for several years now. She's a property solicitor, in fact, a very experienced one. And it would have been rather useful having her to explain the advantage of working sort of pretty well as a team, because we are able to support, by and large, even while she's traveling abroad, which she is at the moment. All she needs to do is get in touch with one of my team and say, this is what we need. And away Paula goes, and the stuff is there. She doesn't need to explain it to any of her team. There's nothing complicated about it. It's purely because we spoke to each other right at the very start and we know what we're doing. Now, what we've got there is chief executive of IPSA.
Welcome, Heather. Welcome.
And joining in, of course, we have Michelle, who's the third director. And we probably we ought to pass to, I think probably Heather she is the one that she said that I can't remember quite how she put it earlier. What did she say? She felt as though she was doing but whatever it was.
Yeah. So, well, when you talk about collaboration, it reminds me of a conversation that we had with Val Bennett at one of our recent conferences. And she said, when I first found out about IPSA, I thought, well, why would I want to go there? Because they'll all want to pinch my customers, and there's nothing in it for me. But she was talked into it and came along and realised actually that's not what anybody wants to do. We want to work together to provide a better service, and through our network of firms that are members of IPSA, we can. So my firm, Michelle's firm, Hamish's firm, if we have any orders that are for areas outside our own area, we can use another IPSA member to help fulfil that case for that client. So that's collaboration at its basic, but obviously we collaborate much wider than that, don't we, Michelle?
We do indeed. I've got quite a lot of clients that work outside, they have properties outside of the Northeast. So I'm probably working with IPSA members 2-3 times a day, sometimes more, where we're sending requests, and we wouldn't be able to give our clients the service they need and they want if it wasn't for the IPSA members. We wouldn't be able to return those searches quickly as we do. And in some cases, we would just have to say, sorry, we can't cover that council. We'll have to use a council search. And then the client would then have to wait whatever length of time the council takes. So without the IPSA members, we just wouldn't be able to deliver quite a lot of the service that we do. And it's just such an important part of our business.
Hamish, it seems to me that the whole of the reason why IPSA exists is to share both the load and also the benefits.
Absolutely. This is one of the advantages of, had we had the opportunity to have Juliet alongside us as we spoke, for her to be able to explain from her perspective how this collaboration works. Now, both Heather and Michelle have been involved with, we've all, I mean, between us, we're probably, what, getting a bit worrying this, we're probably approaching 70 years experience.
Yeah.
If you add the length of time that we've actually all been involved with carrying out searches. And each of us has established our own business working with our own solicitors. So the solicitors we are linked with, we know exactly what they want because we've discussed it with them through collaboration. So we're not in one of those situations where you just press buttons and it happens. We've established the needs of our particular sort of clients. So we're not providing a product per se, we're providing a service. And it's not just restricted to just the local authority searches, which we of course are experienced at working our own areas, but it's the other things that we can bring into it because we work with the environmental specialists, those that carry out environmental searches, so we can put all of those together into a particular sort of package. But it's through collaboration with those providers, because we've discussed it with providers and we have a selection. So whatever our client happens to need, whatever our solicitor feels that is appropriate to that particular property, we can provide those searches. And we actually sort of do that essentially. One of our team members actually is able to put it in Elan Technology. They're able to put everything together on behalf of all of our clients. So we work, if you like, we're totally independent businesses, but we collaborate and we work together to achieve, if you like, this, well, the togetherness, the collaboration, which is what we call IPSA.
Heather, has it always been this way from the start with regards to IPSA?
Well, I wasn't involved with IPSA at the very beginning, but from when I did first join, I do feel that there was a sort of almost cheesy family feel about it. You know, we were all in this together. We've noticed over the years that, you know, we'll have a conference, and if there's a threat to the industry, that's when people come along because they're scared and they want to find out what to do. And that's where the collaboration really helps, because we can all work together to find out what's happening, how we can address it, we were discussing this last night about what we can do to help our members and to give them information they can pass on to their clients, or services that their clients might find useful. And that's a really collaborative thing that we do, and that's always been the case. Even, you know, before my time with Christian Lister and Steve Davis, that worked really hard to get access for information that was to everybody's benefit, whether it was a small firm or a large firm, didn't matter. That was going to help all of us. So it's always felt like it's a group of people working for the greater interest of the many. So yes, it's been a privilege to be part of it. So.
Michelle, it seems to me that if I was going to join a group of people all doing the same sort of thing, I'd immediately think that they were all out for my money. They were out for my clients. How have you managed throughout the years that you've been going on? How long has it been now, Michelle? It's 20 or is it 20 odd years? Good Lord.
Yeah.
And in 22 years, how have you managed to keep it so that people don't feel threatened by the fact there are other people who are doing precisely the same thing as them, albeit in a different geographical region?
Pretty much that you work with your clients, they get to know and trust you, and it's as simple as that. So, you know, they don't want to go and talk to someone else if you've been delivering a service that you said you would. And we've got one particular client that when their secretary goes on holiday, we become their secretaries. So, you know, they know they've trusted us since 2008, this particular client. No one else will be able to step in and do what we do for them as easily and as well as we do, you know. So by just giving them the service that they want and building that relationship with them, as Hamish says, you know, we've got a couple of clients where the collaboration's gone to the next level. So we offered them a quote calculator. They use that. It doesn't cost them a penny because we pay for it, and they win more work on the back of it. And then I go to networking events and I'm introducing them. And there's not many other search companies, certainly not the bigger ones, that would help their clients win more work. So, you know, that is what IPSA members do, is we benefit, but they benefit, we benefit. It's a backwards and forwards mutual relationship that we have. And other search companies, you know, they don't have that same view of the relationship with the clients that most IPSA members do.
Well, Hamish, is it a static type process with IPSA, or are you looking for new members? Would have thought you are looking for new members, because who wouldn't want to be part of such a collaborative group?
Well, there's good news actually, because we do have members joining us. I mean, we've had members join us already this year, and not just from the independent search providers, as we happen to be, the three of us happen to be, but also from corporate members. We do have corporate members who like, and we rather like it, because what we can each do as individuals is we become sort of, to a certain extent, specialists. We'll trial something out. And Michelle particularly, she's been doing some very, very sort of serious work for the last couple of years, and it's beginning to sort of pay off, because whereas previously we would just work directly with the solicitors we collaborated with, we have now expanded it. So we're now starting to look at, particularly some of the work that Michelle's been doing. She's working with property developers, people, investors, and people of that particular nature who will attend her physical meetings, not the virtual style of meeting, but they will actually attend a physical meeting. So we've got that particular perspective, but we can actually work with different things, because basically where we are geographically, we get in tune with something. Heather, for example, she works with an awful lot of people relative to agricultural issues, which is a little bit different, because although we are from Oxfordshire, we don't have anything terribly agricultural, nor does Michelle, being based up there in the northeast. But it's something that, if you like, Heather's been able, because of the work that she's actually done, and it lends itself very, very easily then to when we actually sort of start looking at commercial
Right.
properties. So we share we're able to share all of these ideas, all of these concepts, and we can do a bit of experimentation. And alongside Elan, we can turn around and say, hey, look, guys, we found this particular support that was tremendous. I mean, this is where Marcello came on board on the environmental side of things. We've got other presenters who will be coming to our sort of general meeting, people like sort of Point Data, who are specialists in things. And we need to do a program on this, or podcast on this at some stage, because not many people know, could they be responsible for church roofs? How does that come about? Which is information which won't come up in a basic search unless you actually investigate chance of repair. But people like that become part of the fabric of what we're doing within the collaboration.
I just want to quickly say thank you very much to all the many people I see that have actually joined our show today. It's wonderful to have these people on, because you can see they actually show what it is to be dynamically collaborative. They actually get on with it, but also are there to help each other. I know Heather's smiling, but it's because she actually enjoys the process. And I think do you know what? In all honesty, Heather, I know many people who don't look forward to going to work. I haven't yet met an IPSA member who doesn't enjoy bouncing out of bed and getting on with it. I know, I'm sorry if I'm being a bit silly about it, but I think it's important. These people actually enjoy what they do. It's not simply a money-making affair. It's kind of like a calling. And I have to say, having briefly been involved at IPSA events a couple of times, that I can tell you in honesty that they're all as collaborative and supportive as each other. I've never been so well welcomed. It's been lovely. Hamish, because time is short and we need to close this up, would you care to take us home?
Well, right. Thanks indeed for all of those of you who come along today to actually hear what we're speaking about in terms of property quorum. a bit one-sided because we haven't been able to sort of bring to your notice, bring to your attention what the likes of Juliet, who's one of the partners at Gonna Cook, what she actually sort of feels is particularly sort of beneficial, nor to one of the other members of the team who regularly attends our property quorum, is Chris Gilsonan of Route Home. And we work, the three of us actually work together, interestingly enough, Heather, myself and Chris, on a number of properties all over the place. We've been right the way around the country. And like I think Michelle mentioned earlier, much of the work that she does, she brings in to other members of IPSA, so she can put, they are doing the searches because they happen to be in the Proven area, which some of them come in our direction, where we are based down in Oxfordshire and elsewhere. So the good thing is, I hope other people who are actually looking in will understand, whilst we just happen to be today all members of the Association of Independent Property Search Agents, we are also working with so many others that make, if you like, what we do so very, very effective. And we like to be able to help out, not just, if you like, those partners out there, but also each of us that are all of our other members of IPSA. And I do hope many of them have been able to sort of tune in today. And we hope to be speaking to them in about 6 minutes' time when we start our annual general meeting.
All right, I just want to say thank you so much to Hamish McClay, who helped set this up in the first place. Michelle Poller, wonderful to see you again from Property Search Northeast. And of course, Heather Poole-Gleed, our chief exec, and of course of Shropshire Property Search. And I just want to say to anyone out there, if you're in the property game and you are looking for an organization that can help guarantee that you'll get not just all the information, but the relevant information. I've often compared IPSA to, or IPSA, I know some people get very snippy about that, sorry, IPSA to John Lewis. You're going to get not so much all the information, but the relevant information that will help you make decisions quicker. Not only that, because of their long-held developed relationships with councils, authorities, etc., plus their whole raft of specialists, such as Martello and so on, you actually get the right information that's on the button to help you make those better decisions. My goodness, I've just seen another 20 people turn up. Thank you so much. Shame it's right at the tail end, but thank you very much. And to all of you, please keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars. Who knows, you might catch the moon. And until next time I see you, which hopefully will be next week, when we'll have Chris Gilson of Route Home and Juliet Babulal of Gonna Cook with us as well. Please look after your mental health. Bye-bye now.